two parts to this story. The first is Google search getting worse, and the second is AI getting better. Enter Microsoft, who sees both that the once loved search engine is now falling out of favor of the public eye, and also sees that AI is becoming more popular in the public eye. Here, Microsoft sees an opportunity. With Google losing popularity and AI gaining popularity, these are perfect circumstances for being able to make a comeback if they were to integrate their search engine Bing with AI. So when ChatGPT came along and it became an absolutely viral sensation, garnering over 100 million users within a year, and Microsoft had the opportunity to invest in it heavily, and they realized they could combine their failing Bing search with the highly successful ChatGPT and bring Bing back into mainstream relevancy. The opportunity is kind of perfect, as a lot of people have become disenchanted with Google search. Now Microsoft can offer something that's not only already popular, but arguably it could be much better. But in order to see how much better this could be, I'm not actually going to try and explain it, but rather I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you what Microsoft showed us when they announced that they were integrating Bing search and OpenAI.
When I'm running an errand, like the example I gave to you earlier, I can ask Bing to determine if that new love seat from IKEA is going to fit in the back of my Honda Odyssey. And what you'll see is Bing can actually find the dimensions of the love seat, the interior space of the car, and then make an estimation as to whether it will fit. Another example, when I'm shopping, I can ask Bing to search, find, and compare the top 3 selling pet vacuums listing the pros and cons. And just take a look. Look how great this answer is. It has all 3 of the products I'm looking for, super helpful pros and cons. Stop and think, if you had to compile that, how much time that would take you to do. Finally, on this one, if I'm cooking and I realize I've forgotten a key ingredient, in this case, for example, eggs for my cake recipe, Bing can not only find the egg substitutes, it can get me the exact amount for each ingredient. So I'm going to look for a 65-inch TV. Again, you see our ads at the top, the links on the left, and the answers here on the right. And you can pick whichever you'd like. We give you a good set of answers, but now I want to refine this query. So I can do that by going to chat. Now I can either swipe up with my fingers or look up here at the top of the screen. We have now a new chat scope. And with that, with one click, you are now into chat. Look how beautiful that is. So in this case, let's say I'm going to ask for a gaming optimized TV. All I have to say is, which of these are best for gaming? And we remember all of the context. We know that we're talking about flat screens. We know we're talking about 65-inch TVs. And look how Bing starts to come back. It does all the queries on my behalf and comes back with a great answer. I'll ask it to adjust it for which one of these is the cheapest. Again, Bing knows the context, and it just goes in and refires the queries. So easy. You just talk to it, and you can refine your shopping experience.
And I feel like how incredible that is almost goes without saying. On my other channel, I made a video about why Google search sucks. And in that video, I talked about how everything is optimized around keeping you on websites for longer so that you can be shown more ads and therefore are worth more money. This is easy to see if you've ever looked at a recipe or typed in a simple search with a simple answer and are met with millions of websites that are packed with incredible amounts of verbal fluff. It's been making web searching far more inconvenient and difficult. And you can even Google, is Google search getting worse? And by and large, people seem to think that it is. Now, I realize that ranking what is essentially all of human knowledge is pretty difficult for Google to do, but despite that, it's impossible to deny that there is a monetary incentive in order to keep you around on their websites for longer so that they can sell you more stuff. Microsoft, however, doesn't have this issue. Bing has an abysmal market share at around 9%. They can afford to have people spend far less time on the browser as long as they can make up for it by driving more people to the browser. Let's say Bing has 1 million searches per day, and each search lasts 2 minutes. Now, these are all made up numbers, but stick with me here. Each day, Bing gets 2 million minutes of search time, but now they roll out their OpenAI update, and each search only takes a minute. But now Bing can give nuanced and helpful answers to direct questions instantly, and so 10 million people try it out. Now Bing has 10 million people searching for an average of 1 minute each, and that 10 million minutes of total search time is much more than the 2 million minutes that they had before. AI web browsing is probably going to be the next big step in browsing technology, which has remained fairly unchanged in the last couple decades. Imagine I wanted to read a research paper, but it's hundreds of pages long and I don't have time. Now I can find that paper and ask Bing to summarize it down to maybe 10 or 20 pages. That's absolutely incredible. And not only is it incredible, it's relevant and cool And those are two things Bing has not been in a very long time. Just like I grew up with Google being the go-to place for everything, there's a chance that if Microsoft pulls this off, the younger generation will grow up with Bing being the place for everything. And frankly, I'm excited for that to happen. Google's near monopoly on search has stifled innovation in the field, and it's incredibly exciting to see that finally change.